Namo Phat, good morning. Thanks for joining me for our daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. The first mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by the destruction of life, I vow to cultivate compassion and learn ways to protect the lives of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I'm determined not to kill, not to let others kill, and not to condone any act of killing in the world, in my thinking or in my way of life. For our Dharma lessons, we're reading Ajahn Chah's book, Everything is Teaching Us. This morning, we're finishing his talk, The Monastery of Confusion. What is the purpose of tranquility? Why should we have wisdom? They are only for the purpose of freeing ourselves from suffering, nothing else. At present, we are suffering, living with dukkha, not understanding dukkha, and therefore holding on to it. But if the mind is, as I've been speaking about, there will be many kinds of knowledge. One will know suffering, know the cause of suffering, know the cessation of suffering, and know the way of practice to reach the end of suffering. These are the noble truths. They will appear of themselves when there is still flowing water. When it is like this, then no matter what we are doing, we will have no heedlessness. The habit of heedlessness will weaken and disappear. Whatever we experience, we won't fall into heedlessness because the mind will naturally hold fast to the practice. It will be afraid of losing the practice. As we keep on practicing and learning from experience, we will be drinking of the Dharma more and more, and our faith will keep increasing. For one who practices, it has to be like this. We shouldn't be the kind of people who merely follow others. If our friends aren't doing the practice, we won't do it either because we would feel embarrassed. If they stop, we stop. If they do it, we do it. If the teacher tells us to do something, we do it. If he stops, we stop. This is not a very quick way to realization. What's the point of our training here? It's so that when we are alone, we will be able to continue with the practice. So now, while living together here, when there are morning and evening gatherings to practice, we join in and practice with the others. We build up the habit so that the way of practice is internalized in our hearts. And then we will be able to live anywhere and still practice in the same way. It's like having a certificate of guarantee. If the king is coming here, we prepare everything as perfectly as we can. He stays a short while and then goes on his way, but he gives his royal seal to acknowledge that things are in order here. Now many of us are practicing together, and it's time to learn the practice well, to understand it and internalize it, so that each of you can be a witness to yourself. It's like children coming of age. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be at peace. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for joining me today.